Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We're almost into May already. Um, our assignment for today is we're going to continue talking about compounds. Excuse me. We've been looking at molecules and compounds and been building up since we started talking about atoms and everything when we were still back at school. And so the next one we're going to look at is how compounds get their names. And basically, what happens is when you have two or more different elements that are joined together to make a compound, the name of that compound is going to slightly change. It's basically going to be kind of a combo deal of the two elements that are already there. Okay, so today we are looking at what are called naming binary compounds. The things that you're going to need for today's assignment are the notes here, which I will go over in just a minute. Um, the assignment itself, which is this here. And there it goes. We'll go over that a little bit more later on. And then you will also need the periodic table, which I'm going to have shared with you as well. You've got it before, but it'll be there again for you. So basically, starting off here, says naming binary compounds. The name of a compound with two elements has two words. Okay, so whenever you combine two elements together, those two words, like I said, are going to come together. And kind of like with compound sentences, compound words, it basically is just where you take the two existing words and combine them, or the two existing sentences and compound sentences and combine them. Okay, so it's again, now we're getting a little bit of English in here into science as well, but using the same principles. Excuse me. So, step one here is the first word or the element to the left of the formula is used as is. You will not change it. So, for example, if this is the formula right here that we are doing, Ca3P2, we look at the first one, which is the one to the left of the formula. So Ca. So we go and we look on our periodic table in case we don't remember what Ca is. All right, and look right here. Ca is calcium. So then we come back here. So we know that Ca is going to be calcium. So calcium is going to stay the same. Okay, so the name of our new compound element is going to be calcium something. Okay, then we look for step two. It says for the second word, we use the name of the second element and change the suffix to "ide" at the end of the word. Okay, so we look at the P here, look at our periodic table. We find the letter P, which is right here for phosphorus. And so it's going to be, instead of phosphorus, we take off the last, the suffix here, and we make it "ide." So take off "rus" and make "ide." So phosphorus becomes phosphide. So basically, putting the two together, then Ca3P2 becomes calcium phosphide. Okay? Now, this is the first step in this, and this is the most simple of the types of renaming these compounds. What I mean by that is when you get up into high school, it is going to be, there are additional steps that can happen. For example, with this 3 here behind the calcium, with the 2 behind the P, there are some additional prefixes that will be added to kind of go along with those. We're not dealing with those right now. Right now, we're just getting the basics of it. But understand, when you get up into high school, there are additional steps. Okay? Excuse me. All right, so some examples of adding "ide" here have kind of included. These are some of the common ones when we're making compounds. So the O for oxygen would turn into oxide, chlorine would turn into chloride, bromine would turn into bromide, and fluorine would turn into fluoride. Okay, so then some examples. NaCl, which we know by its common name, which is table salt. Its scientific name is sodium for the Na, and for the Cl would be chloride. Okay, so sodium chlorine would be sodium chloride. MgS, magnesium sulfide. The Mg for magnesium, S for sulfur. Sulfur changes to sulfide. INP, IN is indium, P is phosphate, or phosphorus, sorry, and the P turns into phosphide. Okay, so those are some of the kind of common ones here. Let's go ahead and just kind of look at these and see if we can figure out how to do some of these, kind of practice them. All right, so the first one we've got here, we've got SnO2. So the first thing we do is we go to our periodic table because we look at the SN first. So we find SN in the periodic table, which is right here, number 50, and SN is 10. Okay, so following our directions back here, the first word or the first element, we keep the same. It does not change. So, oops, let me get back to our spot. So SnO2 is going to be 10 for the first word. Okay, so SN just stays 10. All right, then O, we should all know by now, is oxygen. And so the oxygen, if we go back to this one here, it showed us that oxygen is, since it's the second letter in this element chemical formula, then oxygen is going to become oxide. Okay, so we go back here to 10, and we make oxide for the O2. All right, let's make that a little bit bigger so we can all see that. All right, so for our first one, it would be tin oxide. Okay, so like I said, that's how you do the first one. The first symbol is tin, that stays the same, SN tin, oxygen becomes oxide. All right, so the next one we've got here, we are going to let me go ahead and do this next one. All right, so the next one we've got the letter K. If you go to your periodic table, K is right here for potassium. All right, so potassium, since it's our first element in the chemical symbol KBr, K stays the same, so potassium stays the same. All right, then Br is our second symbol here. So we look at our periodic table, and Br is right here for bromine, number 35. All right, so bromine, you can look back or you can just kind of go off of what we've already done. So bro is going to stay the same, but the ene is going to change. So bromine becomes bromide. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. All right, so the next one we've got is Ti. And looking at the periodic table, Ti is not this one right here. Okay, that is Tl. That's thallium. We want Ti, which is right here, titanium. Okay, I and the L is often mistaken, guys. You got to make sure if you see the little dot right here, that, of course, is lowercase I. If you don't see the dot, that's an L. Okay, unless it's the first letter. All right, so titanium would be Ti. So we come in here, and it's the first symbol, so we stay the same, titanium. And our second symbol is chlorine, Cl, right here. So chlorine, CHLORINE, is going to be changed, remember, because it's the second symbol. So chlorine is going to become chloride. Okay. Hopefully this is making sense, or starting to at least. All right. Let's do a couple more, just make sure we've got this down. All right. Our next one, we've got Mg. So we go to our periodic table. Mg is right here, magnesium. It is not manganese. Those are two other ones that are often mistaken for each other. Okay, manganese is Mn, magnesium is Mg. Okay, so we're looking for magnesium. So that's our first one, so it stays the same. Okay, and then our second symbol is N, which hopefully you guys are figuring out by now, but if not, we go back here. N is nitrogen. So magnesium, Mg3N2, is going to become, maybe if it'll let me type. There we go. Magnesium. So it's magnesium, oops, hope if I could spell. Magnesium nitrogen is going to become magnesium nitride. Nitride. All right. So okay, just like that. All right. And then finally, our last one is Al, which Al, if we go to your periodic table, it's right here. Al number 13 is aluminum. And so it's our first one. So aluminum stays the same. And then we've got C as our second one here. C is carbon. So carbon is going to change to carbide. And aluminum carbide. Yeah. All right. So that's how you do those. Again, the first symbol is always going to stay the same. Second one, you just change by adding the IDE to it. Okay. All right. Hopefully that's starting to make sense for you. This here is going to be your assignment for today. Excuse me. Instead of having to name them, you just have to match them up. Okay. So remember, the easy way to do this is always look at your first word. Okay. Always look at your first element. So for example, if I've got sodium as my first one, I look at my periodic table and I remember that sodium right here is Na. So if I go here, I'm going to look at only the ones that have Na as the first two letters. Okay, so it's going to be one of them that has Na. So then I look at my second word and it says chloride. Well, if I get rid of the "ide," it'd be chlorine. So sodium and chlorine. So if I go to my periodic table, right here, chlorine is Cl. So that means that I had my sodium Na and my Cl that are going to go together. So I got to look for my NaCl. Well, that's NaO, so I don't want that one. NaCl right there. Okay, and then other than that, we got NaF and NaBr. So right here, this letter J would be the one that I need to put here for number one. Okay. Remember on here, guys, I put at the top of it, make sure you use your notes to help you, just especially if you get stuck, that you have the right combo going on there, and the right steps. And also make sure you use your periodic table, especially if you don't remember what the symbols are. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully that all made sense. If you have any questions, please make sure that you contact either myself or Miss Mills. And just remember again, guys, I will be assigning things on Tuesdays. Miss Mills will be assigning things on Thursdays. but all 8th graders are to do both Tuesdays and Thursday assignments, okay? We're just splitting up the work. All right. But yes, you are still supposed to do my groups. You're still supposed to do Miss Mills' work. Miss Mills' groups, you still have to do my work. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Other than that, just a heads up that your feedback grades have been put into SIS. So if you're unsure whether or not you're missing anything, they're there now. So you can get those things made up. Okay. All right. Have a great day. And again, if you have any questions or anything, just reach out to us. See you guys. Bye.